The stars looked different from the bridge of the HSS Defiance. Admiral Jinha stood with his hands behind his back, watching the vast emptiness of space. His ship hung in the darkness, a small piece of humanity far from home. Earth was now just a blue dot in the distance, the birthplace they might never see again. "Admiral, we have movement at the edge of the system," said Lieutenant Haran. Her fingers moved quickly across the control panel. Despite the danger, her voice remained calm. Jinha nodded. "Show me." The main screen lit up. 17 massive ships appeared, moving in perfect formation. Each one was 3 times the size of the Defiance. Their hulls were dark metal with glowing red lines that pulsed like blood through veins. "The Empire," Jinha said quietly. Everyone on the bridge fell silent. The Galactic Empire had ruled this part of space for over 1,000 years. They had conquered 3,000 worlds across 7 galaxies. No one had ever successfully fought them. Their technology was centuries ahead of Earth's. Their soldiers numbered in the billions. 3 months ago, they had discovered Earth. Their message was simple: join the Empire or be destroyed. "They're scanning us," reported the sensor officer. "Their weapons are powering up, but they haven't locked on yet." Jinha straightened his uniform jacket. "Open a communication channel." "Channel open, sir." Jinha looked directly at the screen. "This is Admiral Jinha of the Human Defense Fleet. We received your message. We have an answer for you." The screen flickered and an alien face appeared. The Empire commander had gray-green skin with scales that caught the light. His eyes were yellow with narrow black slits. When he spoke, his sharp teeth flashed. "Human vessel, this is Commander Vex of the Imperial First Fleet. Your species has been given the honor of joining our empire. Your answer should be gratitude and immediate surrender." Jinha didn't blink. "We've studied your history, Commander. Every civilization you've conquered gave up after you showed your power. They surrendered because they were afraid." "As they should be," Vex said. His mouth curved into what might have been a smile. "We are the most powerful force in the known universe." "That may be true," Jinha said. "But there's something you should know about humans." "And what is that?" "We're not like the others." Jinha stepped closer to the screen. "This is humanity's only warning. Leave our system now, or we don't stop until your empire is ash." The alien commander laughed, a harsh sound like stones grinding together. "Brave words from a species that has barely left its own planet. You have 1 day to surrender. After that, we will destroy your major cities one by one until you understand your place." The screen went dark. Lieutenant Haran looked at Jinha. "Do you think they believed our warning?" "No," Jinha said. "They never do. That's why they've never lost before." He turned to face the bridge crew. "But they've never met humans before either." Jinha pressed a button on his command console. "This is Admiral Jinha to all ships. The Empire has made their choice. Activate Project Phoenix battle stations." Alarms sounded throughout the ship. Crew members ran to their positions. "Weapon systems came online, sir," said Haran. "Project Phoenix is still untested." The scientist said it might not work. "It will work," Jinha said firmly. "It has to." Project Phoenix was humanity's secret. Weapon technology that no one should have been able to develop with Earth's current knowledge. For 3 months, the best minds on the planet had worked day and night to create something that might give them a chance against the Empire. "Admiral," called out the communications officer, "General Quan is calling from Earth Command. Put him through." General Quan's face appeared on the screen. He was in the underground command center beneath the Pacific Ocean, surrounded by military leaders from around the world. "The defense satellites are in position," Quan said. "Ground forces are ready. How much time do we have?" "Less than 24 hours, Jinha replied. "They'll attack at dawn, their standard tactic. They want us to see them coming." Quan nodded. "The Phoenix devices are ready. We've installed them on your ship and 5 others. Remember, we only get 1 chance at this." "I understand." Jinha looked at his old friend. They had trained together, fought together. Now they might die together. Do you think we can win? Quan was quiet for a moment. The Empire has never lost a war, but they've never fought humans. Before, he smiled slightly. We're too stubborn to know when we're beaten. That's what I'm counting on, Jinha said. The Empire thinks they understand warfare because they've conquered so many worlds. But those species evolved differently than we did. We evolved through fire and blood, Quan agreed. We fought each other for thousands of years before we learned to work together. We're the only species that nearly destroyed our own planet before reaching the stars. Jinha looked out at the enemy fleet. The Empire doesn't understand what that means. They don't know what humans do when cornered. They're about to learn, Quan said. The communication ended, and Jinha turned to his crew. They were young, most of them. This was supposed to be a peaceful mission, Earth's first real venture into deep space. Now they were the front line in a war for survival. I know you're afraid, Jinha told them. You should be. The Empire has technology we can barely understand. They have ships that can destroy planets. They have soldiers who have never known defeat. He walked slowly around the bridge, meeting each person's eyes. But we have something they don't. Something they can't understand. We have the human spirit. Throughout our history, we have faced impossible odds. We have survived disasters that should have ended us. We have fought enemies that should have defeated us. Jinha stopped at the main viewport and looked out at the stars. The Empire thinks. They know what will happen tomorrow. They think we will fight, we will lose, and we will surrender. They think we are like all the others. He turned back to face his crew. Let's show them how wrong they are. As the Defiance prepared for battle, the Empire ships moved closer. They were confident, unhurried. They had done this 1,000 times. Before, they expected fear. They expected surrender. They didn't understand humans at all. The Empire struck at dawn. Just as Jinha had predicted, their massive ships moved into position around Earth. The sun glinted off their dark hulls as they spread out to cover every major city. For a moment, everything was still. Then the sky turned red. Energy beams cut through Earth's atmosphere. The first targets were the defense satellites. They exploded one by one, bright flashes against the morning sky. Next came the military bases. Entire compounds vanished in seconds, leaving only smoking craters. Deep underground, in the command center beneath the Pacific Ocean, General Quan watched the destruction on large screens. His face showed no emotion, but his hands were tight, fists at his sides. Satellite defense network is down, reported an officer. We've lost contact with bases in North America, Europe, and Asia. Civilian casualties? Quan asked. Minimal so far. They're targeting military installations first? Quan nodded. This was standard Empire tactics. Destroy the defenses, then demand surrender. Show enough power to frighten, but leave enough alive to rule. Sir, said another officer, the Empire commander is broadcasting on all frequencies. Put it through, Quan ordered. The alien face of Commander Vex appeared on the main screen. He looked pleased with himself. People of Earth, he said, you have seen a small demonstration of our power. Your military cannot protect you. Your technology cannot match ours. Surrender now, and your lives will be spared. Resist, and your cities will be next. Quan stepped forward. This is General Quan of Earth Defense Command. We received your message. And your answer? Vex asked, clearly expecting submission. The same as before, Quan said calmly. Leave our system, or we don't stop until your empire is ash. Vex's yellow eyes narrowed. You still resist? After what you've just witnessed? What we witnessed, Quan said, was exactly what we expected. You're following the same playbook you've used on 1,000 worlds. Destroy their defenses, frighten their leaders, and wait for surrender. Because it works, Vex hissed. No civilization can stand against the Empire. No civilization has, Quan corrected. Until now. He nodded to someone off-screen, and the transmission ended. Lieutenant Harin entered the command center, her uniform dusty from the journey through emergency tunnels. General Admiral Jinha reports the Defiance is in position. The other Phoenix ships are ready as well. Good, Quan said. It's time to show the Empire what humans do when cornered. He walked to a special console at the center of the room. It required both his handprint and eye scan to activate. The screen lit up with a simple message, Project Phoenix activate. Sir, Harin said quietly, the scientist said there's only a 30% chance this will work, and even if it does? I know the risks, Quan said, but we're out of options. The Empire won't stop with a simple surrender. They'll strip our planet, take our resources, and use our people as slaves. That's what they've done everywhere else. He pressed his palm against the scanner. The Empire thinks they understand warfare because they've conquered species that evolved through conventional means. The scanner read his eye next. We evolved through fire, famine, and fighting each other. We're the only species that turned our own planet into a battlefield before reaching the stars. The console beeped and the screen changed. Project Phoenix. Activated dot around the world. Hidden facilities powered up. Deep in mountains, under oceans, and in remote deserts, machines that shouldn't have been possible began to hum with energy. In space. Aboard the Defiance, Admiral Jinha felt his ship vibrate as the Phoenix device activated. Phoenix system online, reported his weapons officer. Power levels stable, Jinha nodded. Target the nearest Empire dreadnought. Fire when ready. The Phoenix system was humanity's desperate gambit. For 3 months, scientists had worked with technology recovered from a crashed Empire scout ship. They had discovered something the Empire never expected. Their advanced shields had a weakness. The Defiance shuddered as the Phoenix weapon fired. There was no visible beam, no explosion, nothing to see at all. But on the bridge of the Empire, dreadnought alarms began to sound. What's happening? Demanded Commander Vex, watching as his ship's systems began to fail one by one. Unknown, sir, replied his second-in-command. Some kind of energy field is disrupting our shields. It's like nothing we've encountered before. Impossible, Vex snarled. Their technology is primitive. They can't— He never finished his sentence. The dreadnought's power core overloaded, and the massive ship exploded in a ball of blue-white fire. On Earth, in cities around the world, people watched in amazement as one of the Empire's mighty ships disappeared from the sky. In the command center, Quan allowed himself a small smile. Phoenix 2, fire when ready, he ordered. Another Empire ship exploded. Then another. What is this? Demanded the Empire's High Commander, his face filling the screens in the command center. What one are you using? One you forced us to create, Quan replied. You gave us no choice. This is impossible. Your species doesn't have the knowledge for quantum disruption technology. 3 months ago you were right, Quan said. But humans adapt faster than any species you've ever encountered. We don't fight to win, we fight to survive. The High Commander's face showed real fear now. Cease fire immediately. We can discuss terms. The time for discussion was before you attacked our world, Quan said. Now you'll learn what happens when you corner humans. Across Earth, more Phoenix devices activated. From hidden bases in Antarctica, the Amazon, and the Sahara, energy fields reached into space, targeting Empire ships. 5 more exploded in quick succession. Sir, Harin reported, the remaining Empire ships are retreating. They're leaving the system. A cheer went up in the command center, but Quan raised his hand for silence. This isn't over, he said. The Empire will be back with more ships and new defenses. They've never been defeated before. They won't accept it easily. What do we do? Now? Harin asked as Quan looked at the screens showing the retreating Empire ships. We prepare. The Phoenix technology worked better than we hoped, but it won't surprise them again. We need to be ready for their return. He turned to face the room full of military leaders and scientists. Today, humanity did the impossible. We stood against the Empire and survived. But this was just the first battle in a long war. Do you think we can win? Someone asked. Quan thought about the thousands of worlds already under Empire control, the billions of beings living as slaves, the countless civilizations that had fallen before them. I don't know if we can win, he said honestly. But I know this. Humans don't surrender. We don't give up. And we're just getting started. As the last Empire ship disappeared from Earth's sensors, Admiral Jinha's voice came through on the command center speakers. General Quan, the Defiance is returning to Earth. The Phoenix device worked, but it's unstable. Our engineers say it won't last for another battle. Understood, Quan replied. Come home, old friend. We have work to do. The first attack was over. Humanity had survived. But the real war was just beginning. 3 weeks passed since the Empire's first attack. 3 weeks of frantic work, of sleepless nights, of humanity preparing for what everyone knew was coming. Jinha stood on the bridge of a new ship. The HS Vengeance was unlike anything humans had built before. It was larger than the Defiance, with sleek lines and weapon systems that glowed with blue energy. Most importantly, it contained technology that no one outside the top military command knew existed. Final systems check complete, Admiral, Harin reported. She had been promoted to commander after the first battle. All stations report ready. Jinha nodded. And the crew? Nervous but determined, Harin said. They know what's at stake. The Vengeance had been built in secret, hidden in an underground facility beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Its hull contained metals salvaged from the destroyed Empire ships. Its engines were based on Empire technology reverse-engineered by Earth's best scientists. Open a channel to Earth Command, Jinha ordered. General Quan's face appeared on the main screen. He looked tired, with dark circles under his eyes, but his gaze was as sharp as ever. The Vengeance is ready, Jinha reported. We can launch whenever you give the order, Quan nodded. Our spies report the Empire is gathering a massive fleet. They'll reach Earth in approximately 2 weeks. They're bringing planet killers this time. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Everyone knew what planet killers could do. They were weapons designed to crack worlds open, to make examples of those who defied the Empire. Then we don't have much time, Jinha said. The Vengeance needs to strike first? Agreed, Quan said. Your target is the Imperial outpost at Proxima Centauri. It's their closest base to our solar system, and they're using it to gather their forces. Jinha studied the star map that appeared on a side screen. Proxima Centauri was Earth's nearest stellar neighbor, just over 4 light-years away. With conventional engines, it would take years to reach. But the Vengeance wasn't conventional. We'll leave immediately, Jinha said. If all goes well, we'll be back before the Empire's main fleet arrives. Good luck, old friend, Quan said. The fate of Earth depends on this mission. The transmission ended, and Jinha turned to his crew. Prepare for jump. All hands to battle stations. The Vengeance hummed with power as its new engines charged. On the lower decks, engineers monitored systems that no human had fully understood 3 weeks ago. Jump drive at full power, Harin reported. Coordinates locked on Proxima Centauri. Jinha took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. If the jump drive failed, the Vengeance would be destroyed, and with it, humanity's best hope. Execute jump, he ordered. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the stars outside the viewports stretched into lines of light. The ship shuddered, and a strange sensation passed through everyone on board, as if they were being pulled in all directions at once. Then suddenly it was over. The stars returned to normal, but they were in a different pattern. A red dwarf star burned brightly ahead. Jump complete, Harin announced, her voice filled with wonder. We've reached Proxima Centauri. The journey took 3 minutes. A cheer went up from the crew. The impossible had happened. Humans had just traveled 4 light-years in 3 minutes. Scan the system, Jinha ordered once the celebration died down. Find the Imperial outpost. The sensors quickly located their target, a massive space station orbiting the system's second planet. It was shaped like a wheel, with spokes connecting to a central hub. Empire ships moved around it like insects around a hive. They haven't detected us yet, Harin reported. Our stealth systems are working, Jinha studied the alien station. It was a monument to Imperial power, a forward base for their conquest of new worlds. And it had never expected an attack. Move us into position, he ordered. Prepare all weapons. The Vengeance glided silently through space, its advanced stealth technology hiding it from Imperial sensors. It approached the station from below. Where the defenses were weakest, we're in range, Harin said. Weapons locked on their power core and shield generators. Jinha nodded. Fire. The Vengeance's weapons fired in perfect sequence. Blue energy beams struck the station's shield generators first, followed by quantum torpedoes that targeted the power core. The station's defenses had no time to respond. Explosions bloomed across the Imperial outpost. Sections of the wheel broke apart, spinning off into space. Emergency alarms could be heard on the Imperial communication channels that the Vengeance was monitoring. They're hailing us, the communications officer reported. Put it through, Jinha said. The station commander appeared on screen. He was a different species than Commander Vex, with blue skin and 4 eyes, but his expression of shock was easy to read. This is Station Commander Draz of the Imperial Outpost Proxima. Who are you? How did you reach us? Jinha stepped forward. This is Admiral Jinha of the Human Defense Fleet. We are from Earth. All 4 of the commander's eyes widened. Impossible. Earth is 4 light years away, and your species doesn't have faster-than-light technology. You studied our official research, Jinha said. You never found what we developed in secret. What we created out of desperation when you threatened our world. The station shook with another explosion, and the commander steadied himself against a console. What do you want? Surrender the station, Jinha said simply. The Empire does not surrender. The commander snarled, though fear was clear in his voice. Then you'll be the first lesson we teach your Empire about human determination. Jinha sighed. We warned you once. We don't stop until it's ash. He signaled to cut the transmission. Target their remaining critical systems, he ordered. But avoid their living quarters if possible. I want survivors. Sir? Harin questioned. We need them to tell the others what happened here, Jinha explained. We need them to spread the fear. The Vengeance's weapons fired again. The stations? Central hub exploded, sending debris in all directions. Empire ships scrambled to respond, but they were too slow, too surprised by the sudden attack. Their escape pods are launching, Harin reported. Hundreds of them. Let them go, Jinha ordered. Make sure they have a clear path out of the system. As the Imperial station broke apart, Jinha watched the escape pods flee. The Empire had ruled through fear for 1,000 years. They had never known what it was like to be afraid. Until now. Send a message to Earth, Jinha told the communications officer. Tell General Quan the mission was successful. The Imperial outpost at Proxima Centauri has been destroyed. He turned to Harin. Prepare for the return jump. We've struck the first blow, but the real fight is still to come. As the Vengeance prepared to jump back to Earth, Jinha looked at the destruction they had caused. The Empire had made a fatal mistake. They had threatened humanity, thinking humans would behave like all the other species they had conquered. They were wrong. Humans didn't fight like other species. They didn't follow rules or conventions. When cornered, when fighting for survival, humans became something else entirely, and the Empire was about to learn just how dangerous that could be. The Imperial response was swift and terrible. 2 days after the Vengeance returned to Earth, the Empire's main fleet arrived. It was larger than anyone had expected, over 200 ships, including 5 massive vessels that could only be planet-killers. In the war room beneath the ruins of Seoul, General Quan watched the approaching fleet on the main screen. The underground facility had survived the first attack, protected by layers of concrete and steel. Now it served as Earth's primary command center. They've brought enough firepower to destroy Earth 3 times over, Harin said quietly. She had returned to Earth with Jinha after their successful mission to Proxima Centauri. Quan nodded. As expected. The Empire has never faced a species that continued fighting after the first wave. His face showed no fear, only a cold determination. They don't understand that destroying our planet won't destroy humanity. He pressed a button on the command console. Initiate Operation Diaspora, authorization code Phoenix Rising. Alarms sounded throughout the facility. Officers rushed to They're stations sending coded messages to hidden bases around the world. What's Operation Diaspora? Harin asked. She had been away from Earth during the planning stages. Our last resort, Quan explained. For the past 3 weeks, we've been building ships, thousands of them. Small stealthy vessels designed for one purpose, to carry humanity away from Earth. Harin's eyes widened. You're evacuating the planet? Not evacuating, Quan corrected. Spreading. The Empire thinks that if they destroy Earth, they destroy humanity. We're going to prove them wrong. On screens around the war room, reports began coming in from around the world. Hidden launch facilities were activating. Ships were being loaded with civilians, soldiers, and supplies. Earth's most important knowledge, its art, science, history, and culture was being digitized and distributed among the fleet. Admiral Jinha is already in position, Quan continued. The Vengeance and our other military ships will create a distraction, drawing the Empire's attention while our civilian ships escape. But where will they go? Harin asked. The Empire controls most of the nearby systems, not all of them, Quan said. There are places the Empire considers worthless dead planets, asteroid fields, systems with no habitable worlds. But where we'll hide, where we'll rebuild. The main screen changed to show the Vengeance and 20 smaller warships moving to engage the Empire fleet. They were outnumbered 10-1, but they fought with desperate courage. The Imperial commander is hailing us, reported a communications officer. Put it through, Quan ordered. The screen changed to show the face of the Empire's high commander. He was the same species as Vex, but older, with darker scales and cold, calculating eyes. I am High Commander Zorn of the Imperial First Fleet, he said. Your attack on our outpost was an act of war. Your defiance ends today. Quan stepped forward. This is General Quan of Earth Defense Command. We are already at war, High Commander. You started it when you threatened our world. A threat you should have heeded, Zorn replied. No species has ever defeated the Empire. Your primitive weapons cannot stand against us. Surrender now, or watch your homeworld die. Quan's expression didn't change. Earth is not humanity. Earth is where we were born, not what we are. Zorn's eyes narrowed. What do you mean? You'll find out soon enough, Quan said. This is humanity's final warning. Leave our system now. Or we don't stop until your empire is ash. The transmission ended and Quan turned to Harin. It's time for you to go. The command ship is waiting. Harin shook her head. My place is here with you. No, Quan said firmly. Your place is with the fleet. Humanity will need leaders where they're going. Jinha will handle the military aspects, but you understand. Both military and civilian needs. You're the bridge between them. Before Harin could argue further, the facility shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. They've started the attack, reported an officer. The first planet killer has fired. On the main screen, they watched as a massive energy beam struck Earth's surface. The ground rippled like water, and a crack appeared, stretching for hundreds of miles. Magma began to pour out. Second planet killer firing, reported another officer. Another? Beam struck, this one hitting the Atlantic Ocean. The water boiled instantly, creating massive clouds of steam. Tsunamis raced toward coastlines around the world. Status of Operation Diaspora? Quan demanded. 60% of ships have launched, came the reply. The rest will be ready in 20 minutes, Quan nodded. They need more time. He turned to Harin, go now. Take the emergency shuttle to the command ship. That's an order, Commander. Harin stood at attention and saluted. Yes, sir. She hesitated, then added, It has been an honor serving with you, General. The honor was mine. Quan said, Now go, make sure humanity survives. As Harin left the war room, Quan turned back to the main screen. The Vengeance was fighting bravely, drawing as many Empire ships as possible away from Earth, but the planet killers continued their work. Third beam struck near the North Pole. Ice caps melted instantly. A fourth hit the Pacific Rim, triggering massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Sir, said an officer, We're detecting thousands of small ships breaking atmosphere. The Empire is targeting them. Tell Admiral Jinha to focus all efforts on protecting those ships, Quan ordered. They are our priority now. The Vengeance and its escort ships changed formation, placing themselves between the fleeing civilian vessels and the Empire fleet. They took heavy damage, but they bought precious time. 90% of diaspora ships have cleared the system, reported an officer. The Empire fleet is in pursuit, but our stealth technology is working. They can't track all of them. Quan nodded. Earth was dying around them. Continents cracked. Oceans boiled. The atmosphere was filling with ash and smoke. But humanity was escaping. Sir, said the communications officer, Admiral Jinha is hailing us. Jinha's face appeared on screen. The bridge of the Vengeance was damaged, with fires burning in the background. General, most of the civilian ships have escaped, Jinha reported. We've done all we can here. Then it's time for you to go too, Quan said. Take the Vengeance and what's left of our fleet. Protect our people. What about you? Jinha asked. Quan looked around the war room. Most of the officers had already evacuated to the last ships. Only a skeleton crew remained. Someone needs to stay behind, Quan said. Someone needs to make sure the Empire believes they've won. Jinha understood. It has been an honor, my friend. The honor was mine, Quan replied. Now go. Humanity is counting on you. As the transmission ended, Quan felt the facility shake again. The planet killers were still firing, tearing Earth apart piece by piece. But they were too focused on destruction to notice the thousands of small ships slipping past their sensors, carrying the seeds of their eventual defeat. Earth cradle of humanity died in fire. But humanity lived on, scattered among the stars, more dangerous than ever, because now they had nothing left to lose. 5 years passed since Earth died. Harin stood on the observation deck of New Terra, looking out at the stars. The massive space station hung in the darkness of an asteroid belt, hidden from Imperial sensors. Around it, hundreds of smaller ships moved like fish in a school, carrying supplies and people between the station and the nearby asteroids. New Terra wasn't beautiful like Earth had been. There were no blue oceans or green forests. But it was home now, the largest of humanity's hidden colonies. Commander Harin, said a voice behind her. She turned to see Admiral Jinha entering the observation deck. His hair had more gray now. And new scars marked his face, but his eyes still burned with the same determination. Admiral, she greeted him. I heard the Vengeance returned. How was the mission? Successful, Jinha said, joining her at the viewport. We destroyed 3 Imperial supply convoys. They still don't know who hit them. Harin nodded. For 5 years, human ships had been striking at the Empire, using hit-and-run tactics. They would appear from nowhere, attack, and vanish before the Empire could respond. The last refugee ship arrived this morning, Jinha added. The Horizon, from the Mars colony. They managed to hide in the ruins of the solar system until now. So humanity is completely spacefaring, Harin said quietly. There's nothing left binding us to one place. Jinha nodded. The Empire thought destroying Earth would break us. They don't understand that humans have always dreamed of the stars. Below them, in the main section of New Terra, thousands of people went about their daily lives. Children who had been born on Earth now played in artificial gravity. Scientists who had once worked in universities now conducted research in space laboratories. Farmers grew food in hydroponic gardens instead of open fields. How are the new ships coming along? Harin asked. Ahead of schedule, Jinha replied. The shipyards in the Tau Ceti system have completed 10 new warships. They're smaller than the Vengeance, but faster and with better weapons. Harin smiled. The Empire has no idea what we've been building out here. No, they don't, Jinha agreed. Their expansion has slowed considerably. Our attacks have forced them to divert resources to defense. They're searching every system for US, but they're looking in the wrong places. They're looking for a planet, Harin said. They can't imagine a species living entirely in space. The door to the observation deck opened again, and a tall man with a military bearing entered. Despite his civilian clothes, Harun recognized him immediately. "Quan!" she exclaimed, rushing to embrace him. General Quan returned her hug, then clasped Jinha's hand. "It's good to see you both," he said. "We thought you died on Earth," Jinha said, his voice thick with emotion. "I nearly did," Quan admitted. "But I managed to reach one of the last escape ships. I've been helping set up the colony in the Epsilon Eridani system. I only arrived at New Terra yesterday." The three friends stood together at the viewport, looking out at the stars. They had all lost so much: their homes, their world, friends and family. But they had survived, and they had kept humanity alive. "The quantum network is complete," Quan said after a moment. "All human colonies are now connected. Our ships can coordinate attacks across the galaxy instantaneously." The quantum network was humanity's greatest achievement since leaving Earth. Based on technology reverse engineered from Empire ships, it allowed instant communication across any distance. What the Empire didn't know was that it also allowed human ships to jump through space without using traditional jump points that could be monitored. "Phase 1 of Operation Phoenix is complete," Jinnah said. "We've survived. Now we begin Phase 2. We fight back," Quan said. "No," Harun corrected. "We win." She led them to a holographic table in the center of the observation deck. With a wave of her hand, she activated it, showing a map of the galaxy. Red dots marked Empire worlds and outposts. Blue dots showed human colonies and bases. The red outnumbered the blue by hundreds to one, but the blue dots were growing. "For 5 years we've been gathering intelligence," Harun explained. "We've mapped every Empire world, every fleet movement, every supply line. We know their strengths and their weaknesses. And their greatest weakness," Jinha added, "is that they've never had to rebuild from nothing. Their civilization is built on conquest. They take resources from others. They've never had to create from scratch to survive with nothing. We've done it countless times throughout our history," Quan said. "And now we've done it again, in the harshest environment possible." Harun pointed to a large red dot at the center of the map. "Dominar, the Imperial capital world, the heart of their empire." "You can't be suggesting we attack it," Jinha said, surprised. "Even with all our new ships, we couldn't hope to defeat their home fleet." "Not with conventional tactics," Harun agreed. "But when have humans ever used conventional tactics when fighting for survival?" She pressed a button, and the hologram changed to show a detailed plan. Ships moving in patterns that made no sense at first glance. Attack vectors that seemed impossible. The Empire built their defenses to stop enemies from entering their system through jump points, Harun explained. "But our ships don't need jump points anymore. We can appear anywhere at any time." "A simultaneous attack from all directions?" Quan said, understanding dawning on his face. "They wouldn't be able to defend against it." "Exactly," Harun said. "And we don't need to destroy their world like they destroyed ours. We just need to show them that we can." Jinha studied the plan carefully. "This could work," he said finally. "But it would require perfect coordination. Every ship would need to jump at exactly the same moment." "That's what the quantum network is for," Harun sighed. "We've been testing it for months. It's ready." Quan looked at his old friends. "The Empire has ruled through fear for 1,000 years. They've never known what it's like to be afraid for their homeworld." "It's time they learned," Jinha said. Harun nodded. "The Empire gave humanity a choice 5 years ago: surrender or be destroyed. They thought destroying Earth would end us. Instead, it freed us from our limitations. It made us stronger, more determined." "And now?" Quan asked. "Now we give them the same choice," Harun said: "surrender or be destroyed. But unlike them, we'll mean it." The three stood in silence for a moment, looking at the plan that could end the war. It was risky, it might fail. But that had never stopped humans before. "Send the order," Jinha said finally. "Tell all colonies to prepare their ships. In 1 month we take the fight to the heart of the Empire." As Harun sent the message through the quantum network, She thought about Earth, the blue world that had been humanity's home for thousands of years. It was gone now, but its people lived on, scattered among the stars. The Empire had tried to break humanity by destroying their world. Instead, they had created their worst nightmare, a species with nothing to lose, fighting not for conquest, but for survival. And humans always survived. The imperial capital world of Dominar had never known fear. For 10,000 years, it had been the heart of an undefeated empire. Its skies were filled with the trophies of conquered worlds, monuments built from alien materials, buildings that reached into the clouds, and massive defense platforms that could destroy any approaching threat. The emperor himself lived in a palace that covered an entire continent. From there, he ruled over 3,000 worlds across 7 galaxies. Number enemy had ever reached Dominar. No weapon had ever threatened its peace. Until today, the first sign that something was wrong came when the long-range sensors detected an energy spike. The Imperial Guard dismissed it as a malfunction. Their sensors often picked up strange readings from the nearby star. The second sign came when communication with the outer defense platform suddenly stopped. Technicians were sent to investigate, but they found nothing wrong with the communication systems. The third sign was impossible to ignore. In the space around Dominar, thousands of ships appeared at once. They came from nowhere, no jump points, no warp signatures, just empty space one moment and a massive fleet the next. At the center of the human fleet was the Phoenix, a massive dreadnought commanded by Admiral Jinha. It was 3 times the size of the Vengeance, built in secret over 5 years in the shipyards of Tau Ceti. Its hull gleamed with a metal that absorbed light rather than reflected it, making it look like a hole in space. On the bridge of the Phoenix, Jinha stood with Harin and Quan at his side. The 3 friends looked out at Dominar, a blue-green world, much like Earth had once been. "All ships report ready," Harin said. "The quantum jump was successful. We lost no vessels." Jinha nodded. "And the Imperial fleet?" "In chaos," Quan reported, watching the tactical display. "They weren't prepared for an attack here, at the heart of their empire. Their ships are scrambling to form a defense line, but they're disorganized." "Open a channel to the Imperial Palace," Jinha ordered. "It's time." The Emperor heard our message. The communications officer worked at his console. "Channel open, Admiral. We're broadcasting directly to the Imperial Palace." Jinha stepped forward. "This is Admiral Jinha of the Human Defense Fleet. I wish to speak with the Emperor." There was a long pause. Then the main screen lit up, showing an alien face that few humans had ever seen. The Emperor of the Galactic Empire had gray-green skin like his commanders, but his scales were lined with gold. His eyes were deep red, with vertical pupils that narrowed as he studied the humans. "I am Emperor Zerkan, ruler of the Galactic Empire," he said, his voice deep and powerful. "How dare you enter Imperial space? How dare you threaten the throne world?" Jinha's expression remained calm. 10 years ago, your forces entered Earth's system. You gave humanity an ultimatum: surrender or be eradicated. And we carried out our threat, the Emperor said. Your world is gone, broken into pieces. Yet here you are, like insects that refuse to die. We gave you a warning, Jinha continued, as if the Emperor hadn't spoken. We told you that if you attacked us, we wouldn't stop until your empire was. Ash, you didn't listen. You destroyed our world, Harin added, stepping forward, and in doing so, you freed us from it. The Emperor's eyes widened slightly. What do you mean? Humans evolved on a death world, Harin explained. We fought each other and our environment for thousands of years. Earth's gravity well was the only thing holding us back? When you destroyed our planet, Quan said, you forced us to adapt, to evolve, to become something new. The Emperor looked at the tactical display beside him, showing the human fleet surrounding his world. How did you reach Dominar? Our sensors detected no jump signatures. We've moved beyond your understanding of space travel, Jinha said. Just as we've moved beyond your understanding of warfare. The Phoenix's weapon systems came online, glowing with energy. The other human ships followed suit, their weapons targeting the Imperial Palace and defense platforms. "We could destroy your world as you destroyed ours," Jinha said. "We have the power to crack Dominar open, to boil its oceans and burn its atmosphere." The Emperor's composure slipped for the first time. "You wouldn't dare. There are 50 billion beings on Dominar." "There were 8 billion on Earth," Harin said quietly. A tense silence filled the bridge of the Phoenix. The human fleet had the power to do exactly what Jinha threatened. They could destroy Dominar, killing billions in minutes. It would be a fitting revenge for what the Empire had done to Earth, but then Quan stepped forward. "Unlike you, we evolve, we learn," Jinha nodded. "This is humanity's final offer, immediate and unconditional surrender of the Empire. Your subject worlds will be freed. Your military disbanded, your technology shared with all species. Or what?" The Emperor demanded, though fear was clear in his voice. "Or we keep our promise," Jinha said simply. "We don't stop until your empire is ash." The Emperor looked away from the screen, conferring with advisors that the humans couldn't see. When he turned back, his expression had changed. The arrogance was gone, replaced by something humans had never seen on an imperial face before: uncertainty. "You would spare Dominar after what we did to your world?" "We are not like you," Harin said. "We don't destroy worlds to prove our power." "But make no mistake," Quan added. "We will destroy your empire one way or another. The choice is yours: surrender now or fight a war you cannot win." The Emperor was silent for a long moment. He looked at the human fleet ships built from desperation, crewed by a species that had turned the loss of their homeworld into their greatest strength. "How can I trust that you will honor your terms?" he finally asked. "Because humans keep their promises," Jinha said. "Both the ones you should fear and the ones you can trust." Another long silence. Then the Emperor spoke a single word. Accepted. Throughout the human fleet, cheers erupted. On the bridge of the Phoenix, Jinha, Harin, and Quan exchanged looks of disbelief. After 10 years of fighting, of hiding, of rebuilding from nothing, it was over. "Transmit the surrender terms," Jinha ordered, "and inform all human colonies. The war is won." As the details of the surrender were worked out, Harin moved to the viewport, looking down at Dominar. It reminded her so much of Earth: the blue oceans, the green continents, the white clouds, a world full of life and history. "We could have destroyed it," Quan said, joining her. "Some would say we should have. That's what the Empire would have done," Harin replied. "But we're not the Empire." Jinha joined them, looking out at the planet below. The Emperor asked how he could trust us to keep our word. "He doesn't understand that keeping our word is what makes us human. We promised we wouldn't stop until his empire was ash," Quan pointed out. "And now we're letting it survive." "No," Jinha said. "The empire as it was built on conquest and fear, that empire ends today. What rises from its ashes will be something new. Something better," Harin smiled. "Something human." As the Phoenix orbited Dominar, the three friends thought about the long journey that had brought them here. They had lost their world, but found something greater: the knowledge that humanity wasn't defined by a planet, but by the spirit that had allowed them to survive when survival seemed impossible. The Empire had conquered through overwhelming force, but humans had won through something the Empire could never understand: the unbreakable will to rise from the ashes. Again and again, until victory was the only possible outcome. Earth was gone, but humanity had found its true home among the stars. And they would never again allow anyone to threaten that home. The war was over. The rebuilding could begin, and this time humans would lead the way.